Ladies and gentlemen, the 2020-2021 NBA MVP from the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic, 41st overall pick in the 2014 NBA Draft, third on the Rookie of the Year ballots, the three-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA player. This year, Nikola Jokic averaged 26.3 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, and 8.3 assists per game. The first person to put up those stat lines since Oscar Robertson. Nikola Jokic has done things that have been absolutely unprecedented the entire NBA season. He is the first player since Elgin Baylor to be top 5 in NBA totals in points, rebounds, and assists. He is the first MVP to play the entire season, all 72 games, since Kobe Bryant in 2008. Nikola Jokic has played in the playoffs for 3 seasons now. He's averaging in the playoffs over 40 career games, 26 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, and 7 assists per game. He is the only player in NBA history to have those averages over the course of a 40-game sample size. Nikola Jokic is also shooting over 50% from the field in the playoffs, 40% from 3 in the playoffs, and 85% from the free throw line in the playoffs. Nikola Jokic is one of one in NBA history all-time passing big men. Nikola Jokic is the best passing big man, 6'10 or over. Nikola Jokic is the shining star of the Denver Nuggets franchise. He is the all-time greatest player in the history of the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic has overcome odds from being the youngest of his 3 brothers, overcoming the odds of being from Sombor, Serbia, overcoming the odds of being from a war-torn lifestyle in Providence. Nikola Jokic has overcome obstacles his entire life. He started playing pro basketball for Mega when he was 16 years old. He travels from Sombor, Serbia, moves to America in the 2015 and 16 season. He steps on the court. He couldn't even do a push-up when he first started training for basketball. He used to drink over a liter of Coke every single day. Yoke goes from the fun-loving, all-encompassing guy that everybody wants to be around to being the NBA MVP. All season since this channel launched on December 23rd of 2020, we have been saying that Nikola Jokic might be on to something special. We have been saying that Nikola Jokic might be doing something unprecedented. We have been saying that he might be on the way to not just being a top 7 player, not just being a top 5 player, not just being a top 3 player, but being the best player in the NBA. Since December 29th of 2020, when he recorded his 18 assist game versus the Houston Rockets, this channel has been declaring and decrying that Nikola Jokic should be the front runner for the MVP award. All season when he puts up 47-point victories against the Utah Jazz, a 50-point, 12-assist, 8-rebound game against the Sacramento Kings, a 47-point double overtime win versus the Memphis Grizzlies, double-doubles leading the NBA. He set the NBA record for 10 consecutive games of 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. He also was second in the NBA with 16 triple-doubles on the season. He's the first big man since Wilt Chamberlain to average over 8 assists per game. He currently holds 4 of the 5 highest assists per game totals of any big man in NBA history. Nikola Jokic has been unprecedented. The numbers he is putting up is comparable only to Oscar Robertson and Wilt Chamberlain. His playoff measurables are only comparable to that of Larry Legend Bird, the Indiana killer himself. We have heard it all season. All season, there were folks that were rising up left and right, vying for the MVP candidacy. We have LeBron James with the Los Angeles Lakers, Joel Embiid with the Philadelphia 76ers, Luka Doncic with the Dallas Mavericks, Damian Lillard with the Portland Trailblazers, Stephen Wardell Curry of the Golden State Warriors, James Harden of the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant of the Brooklyn Nets, Chris Paul of the Phoenix Suns, Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz. You name it. They all have been knocked down. None of them have been able to overcome. None of them have been able to surpass. None of them have been able to outdo. None of them have been able to do more with less than Nikola Jokic. This season is his finest of his career. Yet this is only his age 25 season. We have people like Nick Wright, who represents Fox Sports and who is one of the main hosts of First Things First, has to say that Nikola Jokic will be the worst MVP in 35 years. He had Chris Paul leading his MVP ballot to end the season. People like Colin Cowherd and Joy Taylor had Chris Paul leading their ballots to end the season. All of this, even though Nikola Jokic had a 60% plus winning percentage. 60% plus winning percentage after Jamal Murray, the second best player, goes down. Not only that, he carries his team from the 5th seed to the 3rd seed without his second best player, with no other player on his team averaging over 20 points per game. He is 3rd seed in the Western Conference, only a game behind the Philadelphia 76ers, who are leading the Eastern Conference. Not only that, he goes with Austin Rivers, Facundo Campazzo, Monte Morris, Shaq Harrison, Marcus Howard. He goes with guards that are not starting on most teams, and some people that are even rookies this season, some people who are two-way contract players this season, some people who started off on the Denver Nuggets as a 10-day contract and had not touched an NBA basket in over 28 days. Nikola Jokic takes that team against Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Carmelo Anthony, Yusuf Nurkic, also against Robert Covington himself. And he overcomes the Trailblazers to a 4-2 victory, putting up averages of 33 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game, shooting 53% from the field, 43% from the line, and over 91% from the free throw line. The first player in NBA history to average over 30 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 40% from three, with 50% from the field and 90% from the line. He's the first player since Dirk Nowitzki, the MVP himself, to average over 30 and 10, shooting 40% from the three-point line. Yet, Nikola Jokic is the worst MVP in the last 35 years. Nikola Jokic is literally an unprecedented player. He is a player who has defeated all the normalities of what you expect an NBA superstar to be. Nikola Jokic is not someone who jumps high. He is not someone who runs fast. He is not someone who is overtly explosive. He is someone who is committed to the game of basketball, someone who is committed to his team, someone who is committed to his family, someone who is committed to his country. Nikola Jokic, the 41st overall pick, is now the lowest ever drafted player to win the MVP award. Nikola Jokic, outside of Willis Reed, and Willis Reed, again, was a second-round pick, but that round ended very quickly. I believe he was the 11th overall pick in that draft. Nikola Jokic is essentially the only second-round pick, the only person ever lower than a 15th overall pick, which would be Giannis Antetokounmpo and Steve Nash. He is the lowest pick to win the MVP by a wide margin, 26 places in the draft. He is literally an unprecedented player, one of one, which we have never seen and may ever see again. And if I were you, I would watch every game that I can. I would listen to every podcast I can. I would read every article I can. I would enjoy every interview of Nikola Jokic that you can find. Because the man throughout the season never declared himself MVP. The man throughout the season never said he was the best player in the NBA. He only thought of himself lucky to be a part of the pantheon of greats to be considered for the award this season. And now, Nikola Jokic is one of only 30-plus men to ever win the MVP award in NBA history. Almost every single one of the MVPs to come before him are first ballot Hall of Famers. And Nikola Jokic will one day join those ranks as well. This is truly an accomplishment. This is truly something to marvel. This is truly something that is uniquely special. Nikola Jokic, we have been advocating for, we have been arguing for, we have been defending, some of you have been defending on social media. We have been telling the story of Jokic all season. We have been telling the story of the Joker all season, and now it is here. Nikola Jokic, your 2020-2021 Kia MVP of the NBA. Best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic.